Hi there, this is Sarah. So this is a short video to talk about the late modernists and religion. And this fits into your secularization arguments within beliefs, but it also fits into the postmodern view of religion and religion in the current world that we're in. So Anthony Giddens and Ulrich Beck will probably be two late modernists that you're familiar with from year 12 of your A-level in sociology. And some of those key terms that you've used with those thinkers will come up again in this area. And it's also worth just pointing out and just reminding ourselves that late modernity is the period that these thinkers think that we are in, and they think we haven't reached postmodernity yet. So although that's in conflict with the postmodern theorists, we tend to learn all of these views together, because it really makes sense to understand kind of all the conflicting theories on where we are at in our current day society. So Anthony Giddens and Ulrich Beck, we're going to start with Giddens. So our friend Anthony Giddens, he agrees that religion has been undermined by scientific knowledge. So he agrees with, what Weber would say, probably what Durkheim would say. We've moved past this superstitious period, and we've gone into modernity. We've got scientific rational thought. So some of the functions of religion have actually been fulfilled by this scientific rational thought. Therefore, we don't need religion as much. But Giddens also comes in and says it's actually the lack of religion might have affected our traditional ways of life. It's changed those, but the religious belief element, it hasn't changed that so much. That is still very much a prominent thing kind of within humanity. So he wrote a book, Giddens, called In Modernity and Self-Identity. And what he argues in that book, and you can quote that in your essay, but you don't have to. You could just say, according to Giddens. Either way, you're going to pick up those application marks for bringing in the theory. But Giddens argues that the late modernity, the conditions of the society we live in, has actually laid the foundation for this resurgence of religion. So he says, yes, religion started to decline because of the changes in society, but also the way society has turned out right now, that has also laid the foundations for a resurgence of religion. And Giddens argues as well that as tradition loses its grip on individuals, so not as religion loses its grip, but as tradition. So we think about those traditional religious organizations and the kind of structures that came with them. As that loosens its grip on individuals, individuals start to question their direction and their life goals and where they're going more and more, because they haven't got this kind of rigid traditional religion, or it's going to be like this is what's going to happen. So it has changed what we need, but ultimately we still have this kind of existential, searching, or this spiritual thirst. And what it means as well is people are required to kind of find their own way. So rather than everyone going to church and it's all about the group and there's this kind of one authority who's telling us how things are going to be, people actually have to now navigate their own kind of society, their own life, their own direction. So they're looking to religion to help them navigate their individual direction. So that's where Giddens is at. But he also talks about something called personal meaninglessness. And that's really helpful for us to bring in at certain points in an essay where we might be arguing about secularization. So Giddens, and this is quite hard to get your head around. Okay, so bear with me here. Giddens says that because we live in a world where we are kept separate from the big questions, the questions like life and death, why do the good die young? Why do people die? Why is there complications with childbirth? Why was there, all these things? And why do people go mad? Why do we have crazy, severely, people struggling with their mental health, that kind of thing? So, obviously the word crazy is not particularly appropriate, but these are some of the questions that people may have in today's society. But what Giddens is arguing is that a lot of these questions aren't in our face anymore, because we kind of have people in institutions. We give birth in institutions. People die in care homes rather than in the family home, which they would have once done. And we're kind of separated from this, people are put into healthcare if they have really severe mental health issues. So because we're separated from this, we don't have these existential questions